to Savage Kitchen. Today we are going to be preparing a mimosa bar for Mother's Day. I have a lot of different ideas about mimosas. The old standby of orange juice and champagne, it's hard to go wrong, but if you've been watching me for a while, you know I like to try different things. So we're going to play with some ingredients and some different flavor combinations. Now, a couple of tips about mimosas in general and mimosa bars in general. More than anything else, if you are going to set out a mimosa bar, make sure you put everything in ice. The key to a great mimosa is it needs to be extremely cold. Nobody likes warm champagne. It's a bad idea, trust. My second tip for you is actually about the champagne or Cava or Prosecco or whatever you're using. Now, oftentimes people say it doesn't matter what you're going to put in a mimosa because you're going to mix it with other juices. And that's not entirely wrong. However, you are going to taste it, and not all sparkling wines, champagnes are made alike. So I think it does make a little bit of a difference what you put in it. Personally, I like my mimosas to be a little bit drier. If you use Prosecco, Prosecco is naturally very, very sweet. And then we're going to be adding other sweet things to it. So I personally find that taste to be a little bit cloying. And I prefer Cava, which is naturally drier. And in particular, I look for things that say brut on the label. All right, first things first, let's open a bottle of champagne. This is my favorite sound in the world, probably, but I'm not great at opening these, so I don't know, this might go very badly. I'm definitely not the type that's like really good at the popping the bottle and having the cork go somewhere. I try to keep it pretty contained because I don't want to lose an eye. All right, so twist. Oh, it's a good sound. Okay, so when constructing your mimosa, champagne first. If you put the juice in first and then put champagne, it's gonna bubble over the top. You're gonna have a problem on your hands. So champagne first. Ratios can be whatever you want. Traditionally, mimosa is equal parts champagne and juice. I like champagne, so I like to have champagne with just like a touch of juice. So for our purposes here today, I think maybe what we'll do is a 1/3 juice, 2/3 champagne, just to play nice. Let's start with our most traditional combination, which is going to be orange juice. Fresh squeezed is best, but we got a lot to get through here, so we're cheating and using bottled. But I'm gonna add a little twist to it and add just a little bit of Marnier, which is an orange flavored liqueur. You could also use triple sec, like Cointreau, or a Curacao. Those have a different flavor profile though than the Marnier. This is a brandy base and is really delicious and kind of warmer and has more caramel notes than the others. Okay, so to start, a little bit of champagne. If you tilt your glass, you're gonna have less, is it head on champagne? Foam, bubbles? Okay. And then we're gonna add to this, like an ounce-ish. I could measure, but it's mimosas. Mimosas aren't about measuring. So we're gonna add a little bit of Marnier. That's probably like 3/4 of an ounce. And then a little bit of orange juice. There we go. And because we want to make things pretty for mom, we should garnish. And in this case, I actually have a couple of options. I have, it's citrus season, so blood oranges are in season and Cara oranges are in season. So let's cut into these. Ooh, so the Cara has this beautiful pink color. It almost looks like a grapefruit inside, but it is decidedly an orange. I'll put half of this in. There we go. There's our orange mimosa. Okay, next up, we're going to do a mango Tajin mimosa, which isn't as exotic as it sounds. We're not gonna put Tajin in the mimosa. Tajin is a chili lime seasoning. What we're gonna do is have a little bit of fun with the garnish. So I have a mango nectar, which you can buy in big bottles, you can buy in the can. You can be really ambitious and squeeze your own mangoes. I mean, depending on my mood, I might. I'm just not in that mood today. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to garnish with a little bit of mango dipped in Tajin. That play of sweet and salty and that mellow and acidic, I find really enjoyable, and it kind of spices up your typical mimosa. So give her another pour. Shake this up. That just does not seem like enough champagne to me. Never enough. There we go. Much better. Great. Lovely. And now I have a little bit of pre-cut mango. And we're just gonna cut into the side of this, and I have a little bit of Tajin, which, by the way, as a snack on its own, if you like mango, not everybody does apparently, this is fantastic. And there we go. It's our mango Tajin mimosa. You could put Tajin along the rim if you wanted to just take your rim, put it through a little bit of corn syrup or simple syrup, and then do the Tajin, but that seems kind of messy. Mimosa shouldn't be messy. Next up is one of my favorite flavor combinations, and I actually think that this would be wonderful for a fall mimosa. We're heading into spring, still do this in springtime, but it's a really interesting combination. So this is going to be pomegranate and rosemary. So the first thing we're going to do is bruise our rosemary to release the oils. So we're going to take a little, just a little bit. We're talking, this is probably a teaspoon's worth of rosemary. And we're just going to massage it a little bit. I was going to say beat it up, but it's more gentle than that. Okay, don't worry, there's more rosemary going into this. So we're going to put this in our glass and then top with champagne. Ooh. All right, settle down. There we go. And now we're going to top this with pomegranate juice. This one's really pretty. I love a pretty drink. And then we're going to garnish this with just a little sprig of rosemary. Pomegranate Rosemary Mimosa. All right, next up, we're actually going to do our grapefruit thyme mimosa. Ah, you know what I forgot? The thyme syrup is in the fridge behind you. Will you grab that? So this one requires a little bit of extra credit effort because we have a thyme-infused simple syrup for this. Normally, I would not add simple syrup to a mimosa. However, I'm working with a very dry cava and grapefruit juice, which naturally has some bitterness to it. So I want to sweeten it up and really impart that thyme flavor via a simple syrup. So, per usual, we're going to start with our champagne. I'm about done with this bottle. Let's call that a day. Call that a really good day. And now we're going to take a little bit of grapefruit juice. Settle. And just a little bit of this thyme-infused simple syrup. This is super easy to make. I'll put a link to a video up here on how to make infused simple syrups. It is a 1-to-1 ratio of sugar and water. Bring it to a boil, and then when you're done, stick a few sprigs of fresh thyme in it, and voila, thyme-infused simple syrup. I would let it sit preferably overnight before you use it. Within an hour or so is fine, and this will last a couple weeks in the fridge if you don't go through it first. So just like, it's like a 1/4 of an ounce of syrup, maybe a little more. That's what I like about mimosas, like there's really no measuring, no rules, no measuring. And then we're gonna garnish this with some fresh thyme from my garden, because apparently I'm a farmer now. pretty. Grapefruit Thyme Mimosa. Man, I should have clipped that on the side, huh? Maybe let's revisit this garnish. The designer in me can't let this stand. Okay, so now we're going to take our little cocktail clip. Now it's good. There we go. Grapefruit Thyme Mimosa. And finally, for our last mimosa, we're going very, very tropical. We are going to do a pineapple coconut mimosa. To be perfectly honest, I have not tried this before. I just think it's a good idea, so this is going to be the one that we're going to taste. We're going to get our pineapple flavor from pineapple juice. We're going to get our coconut flavor, though, from coconut rum. So we're just going to play with this one and see how it comes out. So I need a new bottle of champagne. It's a thrill every time. Okay, into the glass. I might do a little less champagne in this one because I really want that coconut rum flavor to come through. Okay, we do about an ounce of our coconut rum. You could do Malibu if you have it, but trust me, you want this. It's amazing. It's a vacation in a bottle. It has none of the sometimes chemical taste that I think Malibu and some of the other infused rums have. This is really fantastic. Kind of a heavy-handed pour, but trust. I have faith this is going to be fantastic. A little pineapple juice. And then we're going to garnish this with just a few fronds from a fresh pineapple. I think what we might do... There we go. Pineapple coconut mimosa. All right, let's give this one a taste. Try not poke my eye out with pineapple fronds. Oh my God, it smells really, really good. That is a vacation mimosa. I am like on the beach right now. That is so good. You gotta try this one. Okay, so of our 5 mimosas, this one is probably the most unique. I don't think people often combine coconut with champagne, but they should. It's fantastic. The coconut rum really, really does something there. So again, if you're gonna set up a mimosa bar, just make sure to keep everything super cold. Keep your champagne on ice, keep your juices on ice, even keep your glasses on ice, and have fun with the flavors. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and happy Mother's Day. Cheers, friends.